Everybody out of the waiting room?
We do, and I've just started
All right.
recording for the record. Thank you.
Perfect. I was just going to ask if you started because I didn't get the little symbol that it was recording. So
I didn't hear the little voice, but I see it in my
okay,
upper right-hand screen. Thank you.
perfect. Well, appreciate everybody joining us today. We got obviously a lot of YDO staff on board, but we'll go ahead and get the meeting for the youth committee for the Youth Development Council started, and today is August 26th, 2025. So Melissa, do you want to go roll call?
Sure. Pardon me. Um, Hi, this is Melissa Gallardo for the record. I am currently admin for this youth committee. Um, Yoselin De La Garza, Nate Latanzio
Here.
here, Savannah Relatos. Did I hear Savannah's here? Yes, I can see Savannah's here. All right.
Here. Sorry, it took me a minute to unmute. I don't know. There was like a message on my screen that I was trying to get rid of.
Yes, I think there's been a Zoom update since the last time I was in here as well. Thanks, Savannah. Alex Robinson,
Here.
Hannah Schroeder, and here, Janelle Theobald, Kiwi Wilson, and am I missing anyone? No, I think that's everyone on here. All right, thanks.
All right. Thanks, Melissa. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Apologize for the delay in getting started. We were doing a few little last minute adjustments. But again, for the record, my name is Paul Sell, Associate Director here at Youth Development Oregon. I'm going to turn it over to Jared to get us kicked off with some introductions and an icebreaker.
Great. Thanks, Paul. And Brian, do you want me to kick it to you first for an intro
Well, let's do
or?
that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry
Hey,
about that, Brian.
no, that's fine. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to just exit. Good to see you, Alex. Good to see you, Nate, Savannah, Jasmine. Haven't met this way, but just appreciate everybody being on. I'm Brian Detman, Youth Development Oregon Director. Just thank you. Big uh, thanks to all of you for showing up. Maybe some others may join as you go. There is, I think, a pretty full agenda, and at the same time, you will accomplish what you accomplish. So, no pressure, want to build connection and relationship. But I figured we didn't need like another one of us here taking up any more space than I'm already taking up. So I'm just going to say thank you and then goodbye. And if something's needed from me, I know I will be told or I will find out. And I'm more than excited to show up and into these spaces as is needed. So don't take my like bowing out as a sign of anything other than there's a lot of great people here in the room. So keep up I'm excited for this all to get started and I'll check in.
Great.
Y'all.
Thank you, Brian. All right. Good morning, everyone. We are so happy to have you all with us here today for the Youth Committee meeting. We're just going to do a quick round of introductions with an icebreaker. And the question will be just share your name and a local initiative, project, or community activity you've participated in that you're proud of. So I guess I'll just start it off and model. My name is Jared Shaw. I'm a grant manager here at Youth Development Oregon. And a local initiative I participated in a few years ago. I lived in Beaverton and I was on the Beaverton Human Rights Advisory Commission, and was proud of a lot of the work that we accomplished there. I will kick it to Alex, and let's just popcorn around and choose someone who hasn't gone yet.
Hello, my name is Alex, and I'm currently working with the cooling centers here in Multnomah County, and that's something that I'm really proud of, and something that's really important to me, really getting our unhoused neighbors off the streets and into a safe environment. So something that I'm really proud of. It's been really proud to support. I will go ahead and pass it on to Nate.
Thank you, Alex. Hello, everyone. Nate Latanzio, he, him. I'm an LBL Youth Advisory Council Coordinator at Youth Era. I guess I awarded that different. I'm a Youth Advisory Council Coordinator in LBL, which is Lynn, Benton, Lincoln counties, working at Youth Era. And I would say like a local, like, I guess like accomplishment that really came from the Youth Advisory Council that I've been like coordinating and we've been building is that like with the system of care, I'm not sure if everyone in this space is familiar with system of care, but it's like a statewide entity that has a presence in each county region and it lists different like systemic barriers that children and families are running into. And it was just a cool accomplishment that our council is able to do in that in like gathering and hearing like what barriers are like young people encountering in the area. Like I think it was like Lynn County for whatever the last reporting period was, well, it had like maybe 5 barriers reported, and then Benton County had like 7, and then Lincoln County had like 2. And our youth advisory council was able to bring like I believe it was like 30 plus barriers to the forefront. So I thought that was just a nice accomplishment in terms of like elevating youth voice. So it's just like hearing from young people. They were struggling a lot with that in that area. So I'm glad we've been able to make it happen. Sorry, long spiel there. I'll pass it on over to Jasmine.
Can't hear you, Jasmine. Oh, all right. Well, Jasmine, why don't we circle back to you? And then, well, since I'm talking, I guess I'll go ahead and go to Paul
Can you
So.
guys hear me now?
Oh, perfect. Good. Why don't you
Sorry.
go ahead and perfect.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jasmine from Alternative Youth Activities. I'm executive assistant in training. What I've been really proud to be part of has been with being with Alternative Youth Activities in general. We do a lot with housing and education with youth. So this has been an awesome job to work at, and I've really enjoyed it. And I'll pass it to Paul.
Sounds good.
Oh.
Yeah, that works. Uh, Paul Sell, again, Associate Director here at Youth Development Oregon. One of the things that I'm pretty passionate about is opportunities for young people. So post-COVID, I took on a community swim league and to try to get it back up and going. And it was pretty awesome to see over 100 young people in our community of about 3,000 be swimming for 6 weeks in the outdoor pool. So I enjoy that kind of opportunity for young people. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Savannah.
Hello, my name is Savannah Relatis, and something I'm really proud of, and I will talk about this for the rest of my life probably, but me and my cousin launched a Regalia Borrow Closet, and it's a way to like bridge the barrier between like dancing and powwow regalia and like people who cannot financially afford or like maybe don't have the knowledge to make regalia and be able to dance. So we have a lot of kids that borrow regalia. Every single time we go to a powwow, there's like a moment that makes me cry a little bit just because it's really special and people are really special and care about what we're doing, and it just makes me really happy. We have applied for like tens of thousands of dollars worth of grants. Me and my cousin do everything. But we love it. I mean, we have a lot of support. A lot of people donate regalia. We've grown so much since 2023 when we launched, but we've gotten so much support from our communities. We've gotten grants, like I've said, we've applied for well over like 100. We have like well over maybe $200,000 worth of grants out right now, trying to expand, get a vehicle, do stuff like that. And it's just kind of crazy because I didn't envision we would be there, but people really buy into what we do. We have about 100% return rate. Like in the past like 2 years, the first year was a little hard trying to get everything together, but we have like 100% return rate, which I think shows that people care about what we're doing. They like what we're doing. They respect the mission and the regalia. So yeah, that's something I'm super proud of.
All right. Why don't Sally, I'll bump it to you.
Awesome, thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Sally Deck. I'm a grant manager at Youth Development Oregon, and one of my favorite things is like creating and holding space for young people to build community. And one of the ways that I have done that, not unlike the way Paul said that he like reinvigorated a youth program, I've been part of the pasta feeds, which sounds so silly, and has been a really powerful way for youth on a no-cut sports team to be able to have dinner together the night before a big meet. And so it ends up being anywhere between 40 and like 75 or 80 youth who get together. And so that means that the parents are responsible for providing the food and the place, and then the youth get to like have that space to build community and create connections that are in this like unique and special place that is like totally judgment free. So that's been a really fun thing to get to be part of and to get lifted. So I'm going to pass it to Lillian.
Hello, my name is Lillian. I would say that something that I've done recently that has been super impactful is probably working with the Oregon Youth Authority very closely, ensuring that youth voice is represented in their policy making. And I am going to pass it to Melissa.
Thanks, Leanne. Welcome to you and to Yoseline, who I joined just after we took roll call. So I want to make sure that everyone knew that you were here. Thank you. Although, wait, do I see Yoseline? I don't see Yoseline here now, but she was here. Um, I am going to go with the high school marching band that I volunteer with. My son is in high school marching band, and a lot of the families whose kids are in marching band just they don't have the capacity to show up for these kids and do all of the work that is required to have this marching band that goes to competitions besides the football games, the Friday night football games. And it's such an amazing opportunity to be there to support these kids and everything from, you know, feeding them, as Sally mentioned, helping them navigate some of the trials and tribulations of just being teens and having a lot of drama on and off the field, to working together as a team to produce this art that they do, and it's really amazing and magical in this short season that they work on, and it's a privilege to work with them in that regard. Tanisha, did you go? I kind of lost track, honestly, when I was working behind the scenes. Sorry.
No worries, I haven't gone.
Okay, good. Tag.
Thank you. My name is Tanasia Bishop. I'm the Youth Grant Administrative Specialist. Something that I was thinking about that came to mind, this has happened many years ago, but I partnered with Multnomah County and we collected materials from the Rebuilding Center, and we created 150 libraries that we gave out for free for people to post outside of their houses. And that was really fun. I think I'm going to pass it to Jared. Jared, did you go?
Yeah, I kicked it off. I think that's everybody, right? I think we hit everybody. Thank you all so much. You're all doing some amazing work, and it's just great to get to know you all, and thrilled to be here in this space with you. And I will turn it over to Sally now.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you, everyone, for that information. As the youth committee continues to connect and meet, that there will be in-person opportunities and more online possibilities. We'll get to continue to get to know each other and to be able to share. I know that we barely even skimmed the surface on some of the things that I know that some of y'all have been involved with that are so important in like framing the context of the skills and the knowledge that you all bring to this committee. So we're going to talk a little bit about youth committee structure. Know that this is going to be a little bit of like drinking from the fire hose information for some of you, and don't hesitate to reach out to us, connect with us, be like, what the acronym, what? Because we are absolutely here to be helpful and supportive so that you all can do the work that you are better equipped to do than we are. So the youth committee is nestled within the overarching youth development council. So we've got a youth development council. And that resides under Youth Development Oregon, and it is next to the Youth Development Division. So you'll see all of the staff exist in this Youth Development Division, and then the volunteer council members exist in the Youth Development Council, and that is a governor-appointed council, and it had the members vote on a variety of different things. There are committees within the Youth Development Council, and the Youth Committee is one of those. So the Youth Committee gets to create recommendations and move those up to the Youth Development Council to be explained to the council, and in some instances, if it's appropriate, for it to be voted on at the council. So Paul will get into some of the opportunities that this committee has in a moment, but the general structure of committees within the council is that the committee will have a Youth Development Council member be a chair, or we can have two co-chairs. Other committees have co-chairs. And I'm going to drop in the chat the responsibilities of the chair co-chair role. And one of the things that we need to be working on is having the chair co-chairs actually lead these meetings. And so I'm dropping in the chat the responsibilities, like the position description basically of the chair and co-chair. The chair, co-chair absolutely has all of the support necessary from the staff, but the intention really is not that staff are leading this committee, but that the members of the youth committee are, and that this is something where we are in the whatever, we're providing the Zoom infrastructure, we're providing things of that nature, but that this is something that gets to be led by you all. One of the key pieces that the committee needs to decide is the like the logistics of when the committee will meet. So that includes how frequently the committee meets, and then also what day and time the committee meets. And so I'd love to just open it to the group. Are there folks who have thoughts about the structure of the youth committee and how we as staff might be more supportive, or answer questions and curiosities that you all might have about what it means for you to have ownership of this committee and to be able to do the valuable work that you want to do? Nate, go ahead.
I'm just curious because, like, I mean, in coordinating a youth council myself, I think like one of the questions that comes to mind, and I'm not sure if this is like the same like strain of the conversation, but like for whoever be like the chair or co-chair, however we end up doing that, like, is there a method? And I'm not looking for me because I mean, I don't think I could sign up for that specifically, but I would say, like, is there a method for which those folks will be compensated for their time doing that?
Ooh, excellent question. Melissa, Paul, do you know? I don't know.
Melissa, do you want to, you know more details about that?
I can jump in and say that the the compensation structure that's in place is related to the attestation form that you all should have received when you were appointed by the governor. It was part of the appointment letter, and I can send those out again if you need to look at them, or I can actually put the link in the chat for the attestation form if you want to look at that. It's income based. Um, that's the short answer for right now. And we can talk about it more later if you want to, for sure. But that's how that works.
Awesome. Thank you. I was just curious.
Mhm.
Lillian.
I just had a quick question because you speak about appointing chairs. Does that mean we'll be following Robert's rules?
So,
Generally, yes.
yes.
Okay.
The short answer is yes. And it's not, the chair is not necessarily solely responsible of that. That's so a piece that would add to the chair and co-chair is the YDO structure. And so you notice there's a lot of YDO staff on, and if you were on this committee prior, you might have noticed that there was different staff. And so what we have done is we're kind of restarting this committee again, is Brian has designated specific staff to be connected. And so as we move forward, you'll see myself as well as Sally in the role of helping facilitate that. Jared is part of this committee as well for the staff, but he's helping bridge it between a couple other committees that he'll be on. So you'll notice that Sally and I'll be very directly related to help supporting the committee as needed. Another note too is Melissa graciously been has accepted to help support this meeting in the transition time because Tanasia is knee deep in the RFA work right now, so she's helping me behind the scenes with that. But Tanasia will be our admin assigned to this committee as well, and so all staff would be available to help the committee chair and chair on that. You're not just going off and have to do it on your own. You would be meeting to develop the agenda and stuff like that to prepare for these meetings as we would move forwards, and as similar as what Sally put into the chat as the responsibilities on that. So I don't know if that helps as well. And also, just to be clear, we're not necessarily requiring a decision to be made of who wants to be the chair. We want to put it out there to have people think about that, and we'll be reaching out and having conversations. So just connect with Melissa or myself, and we can arrange a time to meet and talk more if that's of interest for you. Nate, sorry.
Yeah, I was just curious, and I think a big part of this is me being new to the process and trying to learn all the different pieces. But like, I didn't know like with the context of this particular youth council, is there like an area of focus I would be like honed into, or like I just wasn't sure like for like, so it's a youth council that's going to be informing the youth development council. Is that so? I guess like, does that look like, is it pretty much a lot of the youth voices tailored and focused in like providing feedback on like different agenda items that are coming up with the youth development council to share additional insights into that? Or I guess I was just kind of like getting an understanding of like, I guess the scope of this council, I guess would be a way to put it.
That's an excellent question, and we are going to get to that in just a second. The only other thing I'd like to say around the thoughts around like leadership and structure and procedures of the youth committee is that we know that this time works for you who are here in this meeting. But there are, I think, a handful of people who are also involved in the committee who weren't able to make it to this time. And so that's one of the pieces that we're working on figuring out of when is the time that works for the committee members so that they actually can move the committee forward. And so know that you are not, we're not going to like draw straws between those of you who are on this call to decide who has to be the chair, co-chair. And that we are opening this of this is a top priority. In order for the committee to get to do stuff, we need to have some structural pieces in place. And that some of that has to do with how frequently can the committee come together and meet? What's the bandwidth of the folks who are involved, and what leadership roles can they have to then be able to knock out the tasks that we have as an opportunity in this committee? Because one of the things that is, I think, important to note is there are a lot of youth councils across the state doing what might, from a really high level, look like the same work. And so it's important to us to be able to find the niche that this youth council fits in, knowing that like ODE has the new youth advisory council. Lillian was a key member in the work group in getting that council up and running, and that they have very specific items that they are addressing. And I know more about that one because I was also involved in that piece, but that OHA has youth advisory committees, et cetera. And so it is our hope to be able to define really well what this committee gets to do, and then to be able to find the folks to fit in with that. And that the structure of this committee also, it's worth noting, will have youth and non-youth members on the committee. Because it is a committee within, like underneath the Youth Development Council, that means that it gets to have Youth Development Council members who are appointed by the governor. Those folks get to be on this committee, and there can be folks who are only members of this committee who are not members of the Youth Development Council at large. And so that creates an opportunity for there to be a little bit more diversity on the committee, and that there can be folks who are who maybe have a little bit less time. Maybe they don't have time to be at all of the big Youth Development Council meetings, but they've got a real passion about some of the tasks ahead of us, and then we would encourage that participation. So Paul, I'm going to hand it to you.
That sounds great, Sally. Thank you for that. Any other questions about that? I was taking a few notes, and I might suggest, and Sally and Melissa, you can tell me if this isn't if you would prefer to do it different, but I might suggest that the staff will put together a survey to ask some of those specific questions that Sally's kind of talking about of like, how do you prefer to meet? How often do you want to meet so that you can get that feedback and we'll work to design that. Melissa, I see your head just shaking, so I'm assuming that, yep, perfect. All right, so we'll put that together for you, but wanted to make sure that we were putting it out there and giving some context before we move forward within that piece. And Nate, it was awesome. You led to our next committee or our next topic on the agenda. Maybe you read it, I don't know, but we'll leave that to you. So the really committee tasks. There are a couple things that we have outlined and we'll be thinking about it. And I think maybe we want to put it in the survey that we send out, like key interest items. But for those that were able to attend the last full council meeting, the youth committee grants was voted on and approved to move forward, and that's about $120,000 that we originally used for a different fund that we've set aside for this committee to basically work with and design that moving forward. So that is a pressing task because those are limited funds for this biennium. So we'll need to figure out how we're going to disperse those accordingly. You heard introductions by Jared and Sally and myself of working with the grants. So we work with grants every day, but we'll work with the committee to figure out what's the best design in that. The other piece, a couple kind of just a necessity of committee is creating and reviewing the committee charter. And so we will look to see what we have prior to that, but we'll want input and feedback from the committee around building the committee charter. And then again, that we began the conversation at the last YDC meeting. There'll be more work with this as we move into the retreat in November. But looking at the YDO strategic plan and where does it make the most sense for the youth committee to be really actively involved in trying to reach some of those goals that are set up on that. Now we have other ideas around, are folks interested in mentors and mentorship around the work, learning about other people that are part of the council and those connections. But outside of those, it's really up to the committee to continue to think about what other tasks we want to tackle within it, and obviously targeted on that strategic plan. So more to come with that in next meetings. I don't know, Nate, did that kind of answer your question around some of that work?
Yeah, I think that was helpful. And I know like especially like as we just like keep going through like we keep having consistent meetings and we're doing all of that. I think it'll be like at least that's something that I found in doing the youth council where I'm like, I don't know what our niche is going to be. And it's tough. Like, you don't want to like front load, like, hey, this is our niche before we even know what it is. So it's kind of one of those things where you give a little bit of structure so you have something to go with. And then once you start getting traction, it builds along the way. So I think that helps a lot.
Exactly. No, and I think that's some conversations when Sally and I were working on the agenda. We don't want to like dictate what that work is. So I know it's kind of a big topic to jump in. Hey, who wants to be a committee chair? It's kind of a kind of a jump into a committee meeting, but that we really feel passionate about making sure that this is a committee that you all have really strong ownership on it. One of the other things that we've heard from the past work around specifically around the youth committee gathering around it is talking about the quarterly YDC meetings because there's a wide range of people and professionals that are on the Youth Development Council, and so there's lots of conversations that happen quickly in that. So we also want to utilize this committee time to just touch base on the agenda, trying to address any questions or other things that you might have around that work, knowing that I'm always learning things at the council meeting, so it's another opportunity to talk about the agenda and that upcoming council meeting. So I'm going to turn it back to Sally and Melissa, because Melissa, I think you have the agenda for the next one. But Sally, I don't know if you noted on the agenda that we did want to just touch base on the last June meeting if people have questions or not.
Yeah, so quick show of hands, who on this meeting, on this call, did not make it to the June council meeting? I did not. I was not able to be there. Lily wasn't, Jasmine wasn't. And so Melissa just dropped in the chat the agenda and then the video recording. Um, and so you can peruse those. But for those who were in attendance, do you have questions? Are there elements of the committee meeting that you would like to be able to review? Excuse me, the council meeting that you would like to be able to review or talk about? Were there pieces that you were like, wow, I wish that there had been more fill in the blank? If that's something that a change that we can help make happen.
Do you want to peek at the agenda as a refresher? Would that be helpful on the screen or?
Yeah, if you
Melissa, it's not opening easy for me, so I
Okay,
don't know if others
let me
can.
let me show it real quick on the screen, just if folks want to. Can you see that okay?
oh, there it is. Yep. I did hear that the tour of Northwest Youth Corps was very good. And so for those who are thinking about like, oh, how can I make it happen to attend the September meeting? Just know that there are always some like really neat things that happen in person at the meetings. Neat.
I was just gonna echo that. I was gonna say, like, I mean, across the meeting, I thought it was a great meeting. I had a good time there. Nothing that's coming to mind that's like, oh, I really need to like, I feel important to like say to circle back to. But like going and doing that tour of the Northwest Youth Corps, like I feel like that could be something. I mean, we'll see how it all works. I'd imagine we're all spread across the state, so there's barriers within that of like as a youth committee getting together and going and touring different places. But if it is viable, I think that would be a really great way of going in and just seeing like getting a broader understanding of the landscape of youth services and what it all looks like and areas of growth, all those different pieces. So I just wanted to echo that.
Thank you. Do any of you have, as you look at this June agenda, do any of you have thoughts about the upcoming September meeting? If we can just take a moment to talk about kind of what it might look like. Like if you envision yourself at that September meeting, how would you like youth voice and the youth committee to be represented, and for there to be an awareness of the work that you imagine the youth committee accomplishing even in the next, let's just say 6 months, or the next year or the next biennium, if that's an easier time frame for you to think about.
And I'm gonna pop up. We have a draft of that agenda, so for
Oh,
this,
thank you. I was hoping we did. Great.
pop over to that one. And I'm realizing we don't have the committee updates on there, unless they're folded. They might be folded in. Sorry, but they're not. So there will be a chance for all of the committees to give updates on here. That's why it's a draft, right?
Mhm.
And
Oh, go
Sally,
ahead.
sorry, as you mentioned, we will be at Warm Springs, and the tour that we have scheduled with Andy Leonard, our council member, is at the K-8 Academy, and we're all very excited about that. So,
And Melissa, in terms of travel, because that's I don't know if anybody lives in Central Oregon on the call, that they would work directly with you correctly to get all of that coordinated for the
mhm.
council members in terms of that travel.
Yes, I realized this morning that I did not send out the email that I have drafted. I meant to send it out yesterday morning, so I'll send that out
Right.
because I need to, yeah, get everyone's hotels figured. If people need hotels, we can figure out lodging to get to this meeting. So, yeah.
So
I saw
stay tuned
Savannah.
for any
I
of
saw Savannah just popped in the chat the exact thing that I was going to say next, which is, can we talk about the November planning meeting? So
that.
in November, we will have a retreat that will be November 19th and 20th. And Melissa just said yesterday that they're looking at a few different sites, all of which are in Salem. Is that correct still?
That's correct.
And so that's a 2-day retreat that is pretty much all day for 2 full days. It's it's a I this it's so much fun. Like we have such a good time. There is like space and time for people to have a meal together and enjoy the time together. It gives like a little bit of space for someone to like pop up an idea and then like you can think about it for a while and then circle back and ask the person at a break and then like really important good things happen at that November retreat. And so mark it on your calendar. It will definitely be November 19th and 20th, and it will very likely be in Salem. and is just something to plan on attending. So much great work has happened in the past for that, and it will be a good time. It will be, may I, Paul, pass the baton back to you. It will be a particularly good time, November 19th and 20th, because it will be following the NYEC Youth Days that Paul's going to talk about.
Yeah, sounds good. Um, so actually, before we jump to the youth days, one of the things that I think would be helpful, I will not be at the September council meeting. I am on vacation. Jared will be representing our grants team over there in person. Is there somebody on the call that would be willing to kind of just do a quick youth committee update, so it's not just us sharing it out? You're not volunteering to be a a chairperson or anything of that sort, but is there someone that's going to be there virtually or in person that could do that? That would be a nice thing to maybe designate so Jared knows who to call on.
Paul, I want to clarify. Do you mean someone who's planning to be at the December meeting to be able
Oh, sorry.
to give a youth committee update at the December meeting?
No, at the September meeting. Sorry, my
Oh,
bad.
at the September meeting.
At the
Oh,
September
because
meeting.
Youth Days happens after the September.
After. Yeah, but we do probably want to do it. Aren't we going to do committee updates at
Yes.
the
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
so yeah,
I
so
did
we
need
would,
clarification. Sorry.
yeah, sorry. No, I kind of that was not on the agenda. I was making it up as I was speaking, so that didn't go very well. So thank you. But yeah, having one of the committee members just give a quick update. Jared would help support it, but it would just kind of give you a quick call on to share about this meeting. Nothing
Yeah,
else.
the update essentially, it's 1 minute really. Everyone goes around and just essentially the update is we've met and we're thinking about scope of work and that sort of stuff. A little more fleshed out than that, but nothing crazy.
Perfect. Nate, I saw your chat or your comment in chat, so awesome. Appreciate that. All right. We could, and if there's two people who want to do it, we can always do that as well because we can just turn it. It helps to know who to point to versus just kind of leave the space open. So appreciate that, Nate, on that side. Sally, well, actually, Nate, you have your hand raised.
I just had a quick question, and I guess I guess it's just like a broader question for the council overall. What do we define? Is there like a particular age group that's like specifically for youth? I don't mind going and doing it myself, but I'm 28, and I know for like the youth council that I'm supporting right now is 14 and 25. So I always like will defer to that age group because I mean that's the age group for it. So I just wanted to name that in case others that do, if I don't fall within the age group, if others that do would like to take that opportunity because I don't want to take up opportunities for that if others are wanting to.
That's a great question, Nate. And I'm gonna maybe Melissa, do you know that off the top of your head? We have different designations for youth because it's under our federal piece, but I believe Melissa, so you know that better than I do.
Yes, I do. Thank you. Yes, our state advisory group definition of youth for the council is age 28 or younger at the time that you were appointed. So we're maybe the oldest youths, but the potential to be the oldest youths in any of the youth groups in Oregon, maybe.
So surprise, Nate, you get that title for a while.
Right. And I mean, honestly, it serves our work well because the work that we're doing, we have found it works well. I'll just leave it at that.
Cool. Which actually then brings up the topic that Sally had turned it over to me is Youth Day. So excited to take another uh, other members of the Youth Council to the 2025 National Youth Employment Coalition Youth Days. And I know that Melissa's been putting some information out and getting people signed up. We're kind of knee deep in getting the travel preparations ready for that. And looking forward to having folks join me on that trip. We're still figuring out who the second YDO staff will be. We're doing a hiring process and things like that as we're moving forward. But there'll be two YDO staff there, including myself. One of them will be me. And the Youth Days is an exciting event where it's a conference that's put on by NYEC. Focused on getting youth access there, and Alex and Savannah both attended it last year with me, which was a wonderful experience. It is going to be a little bit expanded than it was this year. than it was last year, with some breakouts and other training opportunities. And then we do spend that day on the Hill meeting with the Oregon delegates throughout for the federal delegation. So I don't know. I'd turn it over to Alex and Savannah if there's anything you want to say as we're getting that planning underway. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I could say something. We had such a good time. It was really cool to get to know everybody more. I mean, it was kind of like the first time we all met in person and in DC. So it was super cool. We got to go into some meetings, do some like little elevator pitches, and I was definitely confused too when they were calling us youth because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a teacher, so like my kids are the youth, and like I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like our youth council went up to 24, and so it was like I felt like I aged out of youth later anyway, but definitely considered like youth young people. But it was a really really cool experience, getting to like do that like quick little pitch, get your point across, talk to high up people that are making decisions was really really awesome, and I'm sure I'm missing things, but yeah, super cool experience, glad to be a part of it.
Alex, I couldn't tell if you were trying to unmute or not. I saw your hand move, so.
No, I just totally agree with what Savannah said. It's just it was a great experience to be able to go and portray um what the issues in Oregon and to be able to advocate for funding. It felt great to sit down with, even though we didn't get to meet with the actual, Congress people, to be able to sit with their staffers, and it really felt like they were engaged, and a few of them really felt like they were in the conversation. It didn't feel like it was obligatory. It felt like they actually wanted to hear from us. So it felt really productive. It felt really great to feel like there's someone who actually cares about what's going on in Oregon, or at least they made it feel like that. They did a good job at portraying that, at least.
That's that's awesome. No, I think watching what some of the stuff happened with the WIOA dollars, they have changed, but they are moving forward with some of that funding. So it is exciting to see that. I think it does make an impact ultimately. One of the things that will change a little bit this time, and kind of going back, Nate, to your original question of like, what's this community do? It was my first time attending last year as well. And they gave us like half a day to be like, hey, what's your next steps in terms of advocating for the work that either you do in the state or at the federal level? And so we'll plan to spend some time there thinking about what that is. And so those that are able to join, we'll bring that back to the committee as well. So that'll be a kind of another item of figuring out how we can continue that work and utilize this trip as a catalyst to do it here in state as well. So, so yeah, the other thing I'll just say is if you are attending that, please make sure to be attuned to Melissa's emails. She is the one, I believe, Melissa, you're the one doing all the travel. Cool. Yeah, so just be attuned to that. There is a lot of if you've ever traveled with the state, there are a lot of processes that happen behind the scenes for travel. And so we'll need to confirm that. So just if you see that, if you can get back to her as quickly as possible, would be great on that. With that, we are actually at the end of the agenda. We are now at the public comment time, and I don't know, Melissa, did anybody connect with you?
No, I haven't seen any requests for public comment. So,
Sounds good.
do we want to look back at the agendas for September, or did we want to?
Yeah, any questions that folks have? What can we do to help address things? We knew this was a little bit more just kind of like, here's the information. We do hope that we can be a little bit more focused on discussion as we move forward. So it makes it a little bit more lively, engaging meeting.
I don't have any suggestions, but can somebody potentially say what the dates for Warm Springs were? I think I kind of got a mixed up and was like, is that the planning retreat? And somebody said maybe September 11th, but I just want to make a note because I'm trying to put things together right now.
Yes, I'm just jumping in there, Paul. It is
Yeah,
September
please do.
11th. Thank you for checking, Savannah. And I'm going to double check my calendar because it should be on your calendar, but I can forward it to you again if it didn't get saved to your calendar. The meeting's on Thursday, September 11th, and it starts at 10 and goes until 2. And and what else do we need to know about it? Several folks are going over the night before because it is a drive for many of us who are in the valley. Um, I haven't I haven't done any coordination of carpools, but I think some folks are starting to do that. And we usually do with the state because we'll be getting some state vehicles, I think. Um, and there's some lodging at Canida and also in Madras, so I'm figuring that out, and I can make arrangements for council members in addition to the arrangements for staff. So I'm figuring that out. I'm going to forward this to you right now, Savannah, so you have the invitation.
And
And
Melissa, if they wanted a carpool, they could probably just connect with you regarding other travel, and you'll help get them connected with other folks.
yes, I think so. I think it's yes, and we need to figure out who's staying 2 nights because I think some folks are staying 2 nights or want to stay because they want to go to Canada for, for longer or something like that. So I just need to make sure I need to put my travel agent hat on, figure that part out. Because it's a great opportunity. I'm like very excited to hopefully be at Canada. So I haven't made those reservations yet. So I need to figure that out.
Awesome.
Yeah. But I did get to go to Warm Springs. Was that May that we went, Paul, or was it March? I get my months mixed up. Sorry.
I think it was March. I think it was March.
I think it was March. Yeah. We
Yeah.
looked out with the weather. It was awesome.
I'll put a plug in if you haven't been to Warm Springs in terms of that. This is a great opportunity to see some. I haven't even been to the visit that Andy's scheduling over there, so I think it'll be really cool. All right. Please do make sure that you have the dates marked on your calendars for the December council meeting is virtual. Is that correct, Melissa? Is that,
Yes.
well,
Yes.
everyone has a virtual option, but
Everyone has the hybrid option. It will be at the PSB. It's either going to be in the basement or on the third floor. We don't have the second floor meeting
oh,
room.
bummer.
I know. The State Board of Education bumped us out of that room. But
Oh,
anyway, so we'll be there likely. Um and so you're welcome to come join us in person, in our home offices, but you can stay at home in December and join us virtually. So,
and definitely try to make the in-person retreat, which is November 19th and 20th, if I
mhm.
remember what I heard earlier.
Yep, November
That's
19th and
impressive for
20th.
me. In case if you know me, that's impressive for me.
Good job. Good job.
All right. All right. With that, I don't believe we have anything. Do reach out to Melissa and myself if you are interested in being the part of the chair or the co-chair piece. We'll also be reaching out with a survey with some more details as well in the coming couple weeks. And Nate, thanks again for volunteering to do the update at the council meeting. I appreciate that. Sally, did I forget anything? Jared, Melissa?
Not that I can think of.
Not that I can think of. We're open to conversation. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. And if you have questions, if you have curiosities, like, oh, I'm interested in knowing more about fill in the blank, we are happy to take that call and share as much information as possible. We try to keep these meetings a little bit tight and to keep them within the 1 hour. And so sometimes that might feel like you are left wanting to know more. And please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Know that we are here to be supportive of this committee and to help make it run as smoothly as possible, and to ensure that you have all of the resources that we can provide to you so that that work can get done.
And if you do, like say like, wait, what did they say in that meeting again? Or I forgot something. We post the meetings usually within a day or two on our YouTube channel. So I just dropped that link in the chat. You can go back and just like rewind. I do it. So just look us up on YouTube.
Nate.
Yeah, I was just curious, and maybe it's a little ahead of the game, given since we're like just going through like the structure and getting things set up. But I was just figured I'd ask if like, is there, I don't know what like to join this committee here. for youth. I mean, I have several young people that may be interested in joining it, but I wasn't sure if that's like if we're starting outreach, if there's any materials to share, anything around that. So I just figured I'd ask real quick, in case like might have a few young people that I know that would be interested in joining like next meeting or something like that.
So in terms of materials, I'll jump in. We don't necessarily have a lot of publishable materials. Where I would say is let's have a conversation and see what next steps look like, and happy to meet with folks that might be interested, and that can be myself or Sally or Brian in terms of that work as well. So let's just well, I think the short answer is let's schedule a time to talk about what makes sense, and we can move forward. Yeah, because I hope that we get to the point that we have those materials like, hey, check out this cool right. Yeah, like you said though, I think that's some work to come for sure.
Also, to loop back, yes, we welcome
Yeah,
additional
thanks.
participation at whatever level makes sense. And so the part of what we envision is that folks will potentially, particularly the younger youth, would have a chance to participate in the youth committee. And then if the time is right, and that for many folks that'll be like upon graduating from high school, et cetera, that they would then be able to say, yeah, I think I'm ready to join the council as a full-fledged member, and that they would have had an opportunity to learn about the council through the youth committee in a much lower stakes space where they might pop in and be like, wow, this is super interesting and I'd love to be part of this. Tell me more. Let me be involved for a little while, and then I'll become a member. Likewise, people can pop in, offer great ideas, be part of a great decision-making process, particularly when we're thinking about those grants that the youth committee will get to design and then ultimately award. That there might be folks who pop in and they're just part of that, and then they pop out, and we welcome that participation as well. And so for the young people who you are involved with, yes. The answer is going to be yes.
And just a reminder that all of these, all council meetings and also then committee meetings are public meetings. So you can share the links to these meetings with anyone that you want to. They're public meetings, anyone can attend. They're published on our website, on the YDO website. And on the homepage of the website, there's a link to subscribe to we call it an email list, but it's that GovDelivery sort of list serve where things get publicly noticed as well. So you would then get notices to all of the meetings that we have that they could join if they want to.
Yeah. And to that plug, if you haven't signed up, please do sign up as a council member to get those messages. That's important. Yeah.
I can drop those links in the chat real quick.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, it's still a little bit tricky for how to do it, but yeah.
Alrighty.
Anything else that folks want to ask, raise up, put on the next agenda?
Do we know when we're meeting next, or or are we sending out another?
We'll do the survey for this
Okay.
time.
Okay.
I think that way we can try to establish. All right. Well, with that, I think we can officially close down the meeting. I don't know the processes because we don't have a chair. So can I actually close down the meeting, or do we need somebody else, Melissa?
You can adjourn our meeting.
Okay. Sounds good. Just want to make sure that I wasn't doing anything wrong. All right. So I'll go ahead and call our meeting adjourned, and appreciate everybody's attendance to it, and more to come. So be watching for Melissa's email if you're joining work days, and then we'll also watch for an email coming out with a survey to schedule the next meeting and get a little bit more feedback on next steps. Appreciate it. All right.
Thank you again, everybody, for coming. I appreciate your time.
Melissa, I think you can stop the recording.
Thanks all.
Have a good one.